everybody, I'm Sarah Kennedy and welcome back for week 7 of the 10-week decluttering challenge, where this week we declutter and organize your home office space. If you already have a copy of my workbook, I hope you have it handy. If you still need to get your copy, I'll leave some links down below where you can get a fill-in-the-blank hard copy version or get your own download. I hope you are finding some peace and serenity in your daily living spaces because you've worked really hard and it's time now to dive deeper into your home office space. This could be a challenge all of its own, but remember, we're peeling back the layers one layer at a time. We're looking for any progress, not total perfection. Perfection can take years, sometimes decades. So this week, we will take control of paper clutter, create systems so you can reset your home office game, focus on your finances, and feel better about the state of your administrative areas. This week, you have a chance to set up some goals. Maybe it's getting caught up on your bills, signing up to go paperless, or filing years of paperwork. Nevertheless, completing this week's challenge will bring you a step closer, in some cases, many steps closer, to your home office goals. So like I said, you have made it to week 7. This is huge. And this is a big week because we're stepping into a space that often holds mental weight, emotional resistance, and accumulated decisions, sometimes that you've been putting off for far too long. But don't worry, we have a plan to get all of this tackled. This week is just going to be looking at your home office space and putting yourself in a position that this is the space where your administrative chaos is going to end. Because if it's your desk, a filing cabinet, a shelf, a bin, or even just a stack of mail on your kitchen counter, this is your chance to finally take control. So we're going to be organizing your paper clutter, your bill piles and unopened mail if you have that, mystery cords and office supplies, unfinished tasks, and emotional avoidance. You'll find some of those along the way. Financial paperwork and goal setting, emails and photos as best as you can. And you're going to focus on building a streamlined, intuitive system to keep everything in order long after this challenge is over. Because when this area is functioning well, it supports everything else in your life. And when it's a mess, it silently weighs you down. So let's dig in. Before we even begin sorting, we want to reset the energy in this space. So this is what we want to do. I want you to schedule 2 focus hours in your book. You have your weekly schedule that you can get to. So get to this page in your week 7 and give yourself 2 blocked hours. It's not a 10-minute tidy. You need space. You need to block off time and commit. Create some ambiance, put on a music playlist, open a window, get some water, tea, or coffee. You are going to make some serious progress. You're going to clear everything. Yes, everything. Take all the papers off the desks, all the items out of the drawers, sticky notes off the walls, clear surfaces, clear drawers, clean shelves, clean bins. Don't forget your micro and macro decluttering here. Then you're going to clean everything. You're going to wipe the desk. You're going to vacuum the corners. You're going to clean your laptop. This is your energetic reset to say, this space is now for clarity and power, and I'm taking control back. It's not just the clutter, right? It's the decisions that you need to make and the action that you need to take. And this is your first step in taking them. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up 6 distinct categories for every item that you pull out, and you're going to sort them in their own areas. You're going to have a keep and file pile. It's important paperwork that you need to organize and store. A to-do take action pile. That's bills to pay, calls to make, papers to sign, appointments to make. You're going to have a shred and destroy area. This is anything that has sensitive, personal, confidential information that you no longer need. You're going to recycle and throw in the garbage any non-sensitive or outdated documents. You're going to digitize and store items that you want to keep, but that you don't need physical copies of. And then you're going to relocate supplies or items that don't belong in this space. It's also a good chance to bring items back into the office that are all over your house and need to be in here. You're going to use bins. You're going to use trays. You're going to just label those piles on the floor or at a nearby table, and you're going to be methodical. You're going to go through item by item. This is the only way. Common items that you're going to find: expired coupons, unused office supplies, unpaid bills, maybe outdated business cards, manuals for things that you no longer own, duplicated chargers or cords, sticky notes with unimportant reminders, or maybe some with important reminders. So make sure you catch on to those and you keep those safe for yourself. So this is where the decisions need to happen. So you trust yourself and go one paper at a time. Remember, every sheet of paper is either valuable or it's not. There's no in between. Anything that you need to sort later, just put in its own category. Step 3, you're going to shred and recycle ruthlessly. So now that you've sorted everything, you're going to eliminate what's weighing you down. So get to your shred pile and get those documents that have personal data with names, addresses, birth dates, account numbers that you no longer need. Older tax returns that are older than 7 years old. Please be sure to check with your local area accountants on this. Professionals are professionals for a reason, and don't be afraid to reach out to them. You can always ask them fees that they charge so you can get them on board as part of your team to help you. Looking at pay stubs that are more than a year old, unless you need them for tax or loan purposes, you could probably get rid of those and shred them. Insurance papers for expired policies, those can be shredded. Financial statements that you can access online, those can be shredded. So what you want to recycle are envelopes without personal confidential information, any junk mail, any outdated notes. It's a great time to grab a little notebook too and start compiling any notes on your, to-dos that you had and just put a big master list together. You're going to want to get rid of non-sensitive flyers or papers, right? Don't forget, invest in a good shredder or find a local shredding event, right? Because that's an essential part of being able to let go of the paper, is knowing like it's gone, it's safe, it's been shredded, and there's no risk that that's going to be received by somebody because I'm getting rid of it. So invest in that shredder, if you will. Okay. So now it's time to go to step 4 and tackling that to-do pile. This is the pile that can feel scary, but it's actually where you reclaim your power. Every time you check something off this list, you will feel empowered. So you're going to sort this by categories: bills to pay, forms to complete, calls to make, emails to send, appointments to schedule. You're going to create that running action list, right? Get a cool notebook or get something that you will be able to reference back to that's not going to be all over the place. Use a planner or use a digital list in an app, right? You can use your notes. Set calendar blocks too. You need to dedicate time to do this throughout the week. Once you get through this big block of time, this 2-hour reset, you could probably schedule a couple 30 to 60 minute blocks throughout the week, and you can go through these tasks and just break them down. So make sure you check deadlines on your bills. If anything is overdue, make sure you prioritize them. Just forgive yourself for the delay too. Start today. Today's the best time to start. If you didn't do it when it was due, now is the best time to do it. You might need to untangle some situation for yourself. So checking your credit report or revisiting your budget or even scheduling that meeting with a financial advisor or accountant. Make sure you take proactive action. This is your chance to set reminders for due dates and renewals. Use a calendar so you can write down when bills are paid or need to be paid. So facing your tasks clears the path for the life that you want. So every time you do this, you're just going to get one step closer to that feeling of freedom and feeling of everything is operating how it should. You have a system in place. A bill comes in, you mark its due date, you put it in its proper file, and you make sure it's paid. You don't have to do this alone. Okay, so you can avoid that financial guilt, just by calling in some help, calling in some resources, going online, finding out a way how to create a budget for yourself, right? So looking at if you know your current account balances, your debts and your goals, if your financial records are organized or scattered, these are all things to consider, like how to get yourself in an organized place so that you can now take control of this and it doesn't have control over you. And it's not sitting in a pile there just thinking that, hey, I don't even know what's in there and I'm scared to even go in there. Like, that's a normal feeling, of course, to have some of that anxiousness or anxiety. But the first step that you take is the step in the right direction. You can get a simple Excel spreadsheet to start helping you keeping organized, setting up auto pay to avoid late fees, Like, you're going to reclaim a lot of your own personal wealth and independence by doing this. Remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed, reach out. Talk to a financial planner, a debt counselor, or your bank. The sooner you start, the easier it becomes. And know that it is best to start clearing these problems today. It's better sooner than later, and this is your real chance to face it and start swinging things in a better direction. Because you can do this. People have overcome so many challenges. I know that you can do this. Because neglecting it, it doesn't make it go away. But facing it, that will create peace in the future. You just have to get through the really tough part, and it can be tough. So just know that you're doing the right thing. You can look at building your own filing system. So now once you have everything kind of established of what you need and where you want it to go, you can create 2 zones. One for active files. This is your to-do list and your follow-up. Bills that are due this month, current receipts, kids' school stuff, events, pending applications or forms. And then anything that's for an archive file. So this would be separate. So these are things that have already been handled. So your taxes that have already been done, your insurance policies that are current, your real estate, your mortgage documents, any legal documents that you have that should be kept in safekeeping, like your wills or your powers of attorney. Investment and retirement and medical records, these can all be archived and kept in safekeeping. Using a fireproof safe for some of these documents might be a good idea. So again, talk to your professionals. You can use a file box or drawer or an accordion folder. These are other ways. Color coding by category or using simple labels. Keep the system intuitive and how it works for you, right? You need to know exactly where everything is. This is the grand symphony of decluttering. So basically, you can just add to it as you go. If you're going paperless, you can scan with either Adobe Scan or Genius Scan or another scanning app. So do your research and check that out. You can also back up digital files on cloud storage. You can organize with folders and keep consistent naming conventions. So make sure the date and the item of what it is kept clear. So when you go into your digital file, you know what it is. You can find it right away or search it. Optimize your workspace for productivity. That's our next step. Your workspace should invite you to focus and not invite you to be frustrated. So some essentials that you can have for your workspace in your home office are a nice, clean, ergonomic chair, a flat desk surface, some good lighting, either natural or a soft lamp for yourself, a desktop organizer to keep pens, post-it notes, notebooks organized, a charging station. This is where you're going to keep all of those cables contained. Get rid of the ones that you don't need anymore. Those are easy wins. And then some personal touches like a plant or a photo or a diffuser or something beautiful like a vase. Remember, you're also going to have to incorporate a daily declutter. So at the end of each workday or every time you go in to pay bills, you're going to reset your space. You're going to return items to drawers, whether that's filing in your filing cabinet or your file drawers. You're going to wipe off your desk. You're going to check off your completed to-dos. And that's how your space is going to go from a clutter magnet to a success anchor. And finally, step 8, which I think I'm missing some steps along the way, but maintenance and rituals. Staying organized is not about perfection. It's about systems and rhythm. So create an office reset ritual. File new paperwork that comes in. Pay upcoming bills. Shred unnecessary mail. Review your task list regularly and update it. And please keep this space tidy, because as you keep going and as you keep seeing that this is just something that you have to keep churning and every month resetting as your bills come in, you will find this is going to work for you. So why don't you set a 30-minute appointment with yourself for every week. Choose a day that works going forward and make it enjoyable. Get your music, your tea or coffee, your water, and your favorite pen. This is a part of self-care. So your monthly tip is to do a 5-minute mid-month check-in and a longer reset at the end of the month. But this week is about taking your power back. If you have been avoiding this area because it felt overwhelming or too far gone, I see you. But you're here now, and that's what's most important. So by the end of this week, some of the ideas that you want to have in mind are that you have a clean, functional workspace or office space so you can do your administrative tasks. A simplified paper system so you know where everything is and you know where to store it. A clear financial picture, the steps you need to take to get to where you need to go. And a renewed sense of control. So you now have taken control of this area of your life. And I want you to share one thing in the comments that you were facing this week that you've been putting off, and what is your commitment to tackle it. We can stay accountable to each other here. And don't forget, you can download the 7-Day Mindset Challenge if you're still looking for some more support with getting your mindset in the right place for this challenge. So hit like if this video gave you clarity, and subscribe, because we're going to be getting into week 8 next week. And this is the kids area. So we're going to be looking at all things kids playroom, kids bedroom, kids toys all over the place, right? So I know these challenges too, but we'll get through them day by day and week by week. So have a great office space decluttering, and I'll see you next week, everyone.